So, Goddess, what I'm saying is inviting you to take more time. This is the season for it. The fall season is the time to look inward. Fall going into winter, actually, that whole season. Before we were rudely interrupted, if you are having a lot of stress and anxiety, then you do want to check out something I'll be doing. Half-day mini meditation retreats. They'll be digital, but I will be leading you on like an extended in-home retreat. We'll get your space ready. We'll meditate. We'll do different types of meditation. You'll have lunch. We'll have a lunch break where I'll probably lead you on mindful eating. So everything will be meditative. So I really would love to see some of you in these half-day mini retreats. They will probably happen on Sunday afternoons, but click the link below to find out more. Get on the list if I haven't put the page up yet, okay? So meditation is a wonderful way to get control back of your life. And like I said, you've seen me, some ups, some downs, and meditation is what really helps, as well as getting your meditation working with getting your lifestyle back in order so that outer situations, we can bounce back. Hey there. Thanks for coming by today. If you're new to my channel, welcome if it's your very first time, and welcome if you're a longtime viewer. Get a cup of tea. I will be sharing with you this is what Spirit told me was a good topic for today. Everyone is so stressed right now. Even if you don't know you're stressed, people are stressed, okay? And so pulling from my own experience, dealing with emotions, my background teaching meditation, and as a yoga teacher, I'm going to pull on all of that to give you some quick ways when you're feeling really stressed and anxious, like things you can do. Because most YouTube videos, I feel like they give you long-term lifestyle tips, right? Which is great. I do that too. What do you do right in the moment? That's what I'm feeling like might be needed, that's not addressed. And some of these, of course, you're going to have heard this before, some of them, but it might just be the right time for you to hear it. Or if you're not stressed or anxious now, pass it on to a friend. Or the brain, literally the part of the brain that can give us a more global view, tends to shut down. Okay, science actually says this, and I've seen it myself, like when I was suffering from burnout, meaning you won't see options. You'll be so focused on what's stressing you, okay? So let's get started. So the first thing I would do, again, is a quick anti-stress, anti-anxiety thing, is some form of exercise. That is the very first thing I would do. And I want to kind of keep a list here so I keep track. That could be putting on dance music in your house, your favorite type of music. That, go for a walk. Okay, so dance inside your house, free. Go for a brisk walk, or go running outside is best if the weather's okay for that. So if you're anxious, I'm also going to mix in some holistic awareness with it. If you're anxious, you are in a state that would be called rajasic, and I'll put it on the screen. And that is a state of like change and agitation, speed. And what you want to be is more sattvic. Sattvic would be the equivalent of calm. Okay, so if you're stressed, I would actually do a brisk walk because you want to meet your level of anxiety and stress where it is. And then you can actually slow the walk down if that feels good. But I would start with a brisk walk. Run, anything physical. So remember, you have that option. It could literally get down on the floor, do some calisthenics. I've actually, because of COVID, gotten into calisthenics, and calisthenics are wonderful. You can do so much just with your body weight. It's amazing. It really, really is. Maybe just right on YouTube, look up some folks who teach you calisthenics, no equipment needed. Next thing that you could do to get more sattvic, to get more balanced when you're anxious, and I feel like this is an overlooked one, watch something that is funny. When I'm really stressed, I will watch a funny show, or I am like too embarrassed to tell you what I will pick. I pick something that's really old that I'd watch when I was a little kid. I will find just a little clip that I know, no matter what, makes me laugh. No matter what. When I was a little girl, and the show was already really old at that point, but the I Love Lucy show would be on, and I literally will watch either the ballet scene where she's trying to do Pele, the scene where she's trying to wrap chocolates, or the grape stomping scene. If just Google any of those and you'll see humor. So, or I'll watch like a stand-up comic, a contemporary stand-up comic that I think is funny. So when you're stressed, don't go looking for a new comic. Literally have like ready, like on your playlist or whatever, such and such comic, okay? So something funny, again, that will change your state. So it may seem artificial, but you're trying to go from anxious and wired, and the humor is going to take you down a little bit, okay? Now I'm going to go to things that are a little bit less powerful. So if you're more low-level stressed, does that make sense? So you could do something like get a book that you've already read that you love. It could be poetry. It could be like daily guidance, daily meditations, affirmations, something like that already you have on your shelf, or you can find easily like on your Kindle, that changes your mood. That works if you're not super, super anxious, because if you are, then you won't have the concentration, okay? So you can do these in steps also, goddess, like really strategically. You could exercise, go for a run, go for a walk, and then once you feel calmer, that's literally that trajectory. You're getting more sattvic, you're getting calmer. Then you could do something like read something uplifting, or read something, it could be a romance. It could be anything that will get you away from your current situation. So read something. The fourth thing you could do, I'm going to separate this from exercise because yoga isn't actually just exercise. You could pop on a yoga video, or if you're very comfortable with yoga yourself, do a yoga practice. And again, keep in mind this principle that I'm saying to you. You may want to start with some sun salutations, or start active to meet your level of anxiety where it is. So the more anxious you are, the more stressed you are, do a little bit more vigorous. But even during your practice, say you practice for 30 minutes, start off pretty active, pretty intense. And even after about 10 minutes, like go into slower poses where you're holding them, or you're breathing, and then of course end with like a nice relaxation. So you're kind of starting here and bringing yourself, like landing your stress. So yoga as a separate thing from just exercise. In that, I would also put like Tai Chi or Qigong. You can look those up as well. They take some training to do, as does yoga, but some of them you really need to like learn a particular pattern to do it. But that is the fourth thing you could do if you're stressed in the short term, just to bring your anxiety level down. Another thing you can do if your anxiety isn't off the charts is to find something, it sounds weird, but find something beautiful in your home, like a beautiful plant or a beautiful crystal, and see if you can focus on it. Use it as like a focal point. Now, of course, you could just hold the crystal. For example, I have some obsidian here, which I really like. I find very grounding. But unless you're very sensitive, that is a more subtle method. So what I would do is you can absolutely hold a crystal, work with a crystal, like tune into it. But I think that, like I said, is more subtle. I would get something that's very beautiful, whether it's an image of a saint or whatever in your religious background, or something that you find beautiful. It could even be a beautiful picture of you with some friends, or you with your family at a certain point, even when you were a child, and just tune into that. This may sound a little sort of esoteric, but I think it would work well for some of you, just to kind of remind you of better times. And it's something that will just kind of bring you back into that time, especially if the image is of a really happy, maybe you were visiting some place, or you're with grandma or grandpa, or something that was just really nice for you. So just working with something beautiful and taking in its energy. That's the fifth thing. So these are some quick things you can do. And of course, I'm going to mention, which is sort of obvious, I'm mentioning it last because as a holistic teacher and spiritual teacher, we don't want to rely too much on substances, but of course, if have a glass of wine or something, as long as you don't have an issue, a substance abuse issue, maybe a glass of wine or, some CBD. Like, I'm really not familiar because I don't like to use substances. I prefer to, even if they're natural, I just don't want to foster any addiction because, as I've mentioned to you guys, there's addiction in my family, so I'm very, very careful. But there are different substances now. In fact, one I'm going to tell you that for some of you, you'll be like, that doesn't even do anything. But I like hemp oil, completely like available on Amazon. I don't even know, like, it has like nothing much in it, but for me, it actually puts me to sleep. Any substance that you don't have an addiction issue with, but if you're very anxious, for some people they use prescription beta blockers that are for like occasional use, like say you had to give a speech or something you're going to be anxious. These beta blockers work. I have used that. They do work. But as I said, I really try not to take any prescription or anything that can become addictive, but that's just my personal choice. But I just want to mention that to you. So I hope these things can help you because, again, like I said, when I was anxious, when really under a lot of stress, often it's hard for you to think of what can I do. Okay, so check out the half-day mini retreats. I would love you to be there. I'm really excited about it. I've just come up with the idea. We'll do some journaling as well, and I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to really, really love it. So yeah, half-day mini retreats is something I'm going to be offering. So much love. I will be coming out with some divine feminine videos, some probably some more chakra videos and so on, but those take a little bit of time to make and edit and get the images and the music. But look out for those. I will also have my second video on that Creating Money book, the abundance book I was going through, like our little book club. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Stay blissed and blessed. Bye-bye.